Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to create an evergreen webinar on Kajabi. Now, evergreen webinars are one of the most powerful marketing tools that you can get, that you can create, because they are fun, they are exciting, people want to get into these. These are extremely high value lead magnets. And when somebody goes through and watches a free webinar, it's automatically going to build authority and trust, and it naturally leads to a high-end offer that people can go ahead and purchase. So I'm going to take you step by step through the entire process and show you everything that you need to do to set up a beautiful and high-converting evergreen webinar on Kajabi. If you are not yet on Kajabi, I have a fantastic offer for you. So rather than the standard 14-day free trial that you can get by going straight to Kajabi, if you sign up through my link, the top link in the description, you can get an extended 30-day free trial. On top of this, if you do sign up through my link, I will also give you access to the Holden Academy Elite package, which includes 2 of my courses. One of them will teach you how to actually use Kajabi. The second will teach you how to go from 0 to 10K per month with digital products. And then to sweeten the deal even more, I will also give you access to my insider community where you can get one-on-one access to me. With coaching calls, you can ask me any questions that you have, and I'll be there to help you every step of the way. So all of that is completely free, and all you have to do is sign up to Kajabi, get that free trial by using my link. Okay, now jumping into Kajabi, and with this, when we are creating an evergreen webinar, a common mistake that I see a lot of people make, and I've also seen this being taught in a lot of YouTube tutorials teaching people how to make evergreen webinars, is people will go ahead and build this manually. So they will go into the website, they will go into landing pages, and then they will create each of these pages individually with an opt-in page, with a webinar page. This is a much more complicated way to do this, and I think the reason people go down this route is because the actual webinar function inside of Kajabi is kind of a little bit hidden. It's not the most prominent feature in here, and you have to know what you are doing to access this. So rather than going through this way and setting it up manually with a lot of headache, what we can actually do is if we go into, rather than landing pages, if we go into marketing instead, and then go into funnels right here, what we can do is go ahead and create a new funnel. And then from all of these funnel options, it's not any of these. We need to go right down to the bottom and click into legacy funnels. And then right here, we have the webinar right here. So what we can do is click into get started. And then for the example of this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and sell my 0 to 10K per month coaching. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and type in 0 to 10K per month with digital products coaching. Then in here, for the webinar type, we can choose a live webinar or a pre-recorded webinar. And for an evergreen webinar, we of course want to go pre-recorded. So we just record the webinar once. We make it appear like it is a live webinar, but it's actually pre-recorded. So we can have this set up every 15 minutes, every half an hour. And as soon as somebody hits that landing page, they sign up to the webinar, they can jump into one in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. So that's what we want to set up right there. Then right here, where it says, when does your webinar start? If we want to get this out immediately, we want to start running this as soon as today or tomorrow, then what we want to do is click into when does your webinar start and literally set this to today's date. So I'm going to go in and set this to the 16th. And although now we just have one single start date, what we are going to do is on the next step, once we have the funnel created for us, which when we click on generate funnel, that is exactly what's going to happen. We can then go in and we can set this to a recurring webinar that happens every 15 minutes, every half an hour, every hour. So right now it's 8:20. We want to set this a little bit in the future. So let's just go ahead and set this to 8:30 as an example. We can then go to the time zone right here, and I'm just going to keep this as London, but you want to change this to your local time zone, EST, whatever you are selling. And then in here, we can now choose the offer that you wish to sell. So hopefully you should already have your product set up that you are going to sell. If not, just go ahead and create this. If you need help creating the actual product that you are going to sell, then I will leave links in the description to all of my videos showing you how to create courses, how to create coaching, how to create community. I will leave that down there. But we just want to go in and choose the offer that we are going to sell. So for me, this is going to be my 0 to 10K per month coaching. We can see this is a pretty high price tag at 3K. So we can drop that in right there. And then once we have all of this set up, we go ahead and click on generate funnel. Now, this will take a few minutes to go ahead and actually build up the funnel and all of the funnel steps that we need. So whilst this is creating, go ahead and make yourself a copy, and then we can go on to the next steps. So in here, we now have the funnel built out, and we have this built out on autopilot. And these are all of the steps that we need for our webinar funnel. So we can see we have a registration page. We then have the actual settings right here, and I'll show you how to adjust these. This is how we can turn this into a recurring webinar. So essentially just skip this step. This is like back end. But we take people from the registration page where they sign up. They then go to the confirmation page right here that says, thank you, your webinar will start in this amount of time. We then have the actual webinar room where people will be able to watch the video, which will then send them to the sales page for our product. And then we have the checkout page right here. So to start this out, the first thing that we are going to do before we go in and start editing this registration page is first of all, click into this calendar right here. And this is where we can make the webinar recurring. So right here, we can see the first webinar event right now for me is in about 7 minutes. So I might push this forward a little bit. Let's go to 8:45, for example. But then we can click on repeat this event, and we can choose how often we want to repeat this. Now, what I would recommend, what I see the most success with webinars is having this every 15 minutes. This is the minimum time that we can set this to on Kajabi. And what this means is as soon as somebody registers, as soon as somebody says, I'm interested in this webinar, I want to see this, they'll have a webinar always within the next 15 minutes. So they're not going to have to sit there and wait for an hour, wait for 2 hours where they might get distracted, they might get busy. They're always going to have a webinar within the next 15 minutes. It might be 15 minutes, it might be 5 minutes from when they sign up. So that's what we want to put in here. So we want to go every 15 minutes. We can then choose, once again, the time zone. We can choose the title, set up automations right here. Once we have this set up, we can then go down and click on save. And once that is saved, we can then look over at the event actions right here, and we can see the emails that people are going to get. So we can click into these, for example, and we can see at the time of registration, and we can go ahead and choose the time. People are going to receive an email right here that says, hello, first name. Thank you for registering for the, and then we can change this. This is just the default that Kajabi gives us. So I could go in here. Thank you for registering for the 0 to 10K per month with digital products live workshop. We can then see the rest of the email right here. Talk soon, Riley Holden. So we can go ahead and change this email right here. Go ahead and click on save, and that email is now created. They will receive this as soon as they are registered. The event is then going to start. They are then going to get access to the event, and then by default, they are going to receive an email 1 day after the event that essentially says, are you ready to make a decision? You can click here and get the exclusive webinar offer. Here is what is included. So you can go ahead and customize this as well. And what I also think is a fantastic thing to do is give people reminders before the webinar. So as I've set my webinar to every 15 minutes, there's not a whole bunch of time in between. But what we might do is we might go ahead and add an email right here and give people a reminder like 5 minutes before the event. So we might go in and say before the event, and then we can choose 5 minutes before. And we can say in here, the 0 to 10K per month with digital products webinar starts in 5 minutes. We can then go ahead and type out the body. We can type the email out right here and click on save. Very important, the link that we want to add in here is the same link that we're going to get in this top email. So if we just go back to this, we can grab this special link right here, and then we just go ahead and add that to the email that we create 5 minutes before the event. So that's how we can set up this area right here. If we just go back to the funnel overview, what we can now do is go in and edit each of these pages. So we can start off by clicking into the registration page right here, and we can click in and change this text that says free online training. And we can say maybe something like, learn to go from $0 and broke to over 10K per month with a digital product business in the next 30 days. And then down here, I would actually go ahead and delete this. And this number right here is going to change depending on when they actually click on the webinar. So right now, because it's 8:30, the next one is going to be at 8:45. But if they click this at 9 a.m., the next one would be at 9:15, and it would say that right here. So we can go ahead and change this. We can even go down to the background image right here. You can swap this out and you can change this page. We can then go down and we can edit these areas right here. We can tell them more about the webinar. We can tell them to sign up once again right here. And then very important is when people actually click on this button, and it opens into the pop-up, what are they going to see? So for now, we will just go ahead and save this and click on preview. And we can see right now, when they click into this, this is the page that they are going to get. So if we want to edit this, we just need to click on back and then back again actually. And then we just go down to the 2-step opt-in right here. And this is where we can go ahead and change this. So we can go in and we can choose the form, which is automatically going to be created with this. So I would just leave this as it is. But we can go down, we can change like the background color, we can change the text. Right here we have a progress bar, which looks like this. So we could go ahead and change this and edit this. We could delete this. We could change the text that is said. We can add in new content into this area. And that is how we can edit this first page right here. So we just make sure this is saved, and then we can go back to the funnel. We can then go to the confirmation page, which is the next page in this process. And then this is just going to say, thank you, check your email on how to access the webinar. Be sure to add this event to your calendar. We can then see the date and time of the webinar that they're signed up to. And very important, what I've seen some people do here is they'll go ahead and put like a button or a link that takes people to the webinar room. Now, the reason that we don't want to do this on this page is so that people can't put in fake emails. People might try to do this. They might try to put a fake email in on this page right here. And then if you allow them just to access the webinar on this page, it allows them to get away with entering a fake email. Whereas if they try this, if they enter a fake email and then they go to this page and it says, you need to check your email for the link, they'll go, okay, maybe I should go back. I'll enter my real email and then we can get access to the webinar via that. So just make sure you don't add a link in here. Make sure they go to their email to get this. We can then go down and edit this image. Not too much crazy things that we need to do on this page. Then we can go to the webinar room right here. And this is where people are actually going to be able to watch the webinar. So right here, we can see it says live stream, do not close this window. And what I would do is I would actually go in here and I would change this text color to red just to give people a little bit more of a warning. Maybe we can even underline this just like that. And then up here, we can say generate. We could actually say 10K per month. We don't want to say in passive income because passive income doesn't really exist. I think we all know this. Generate 10K per month by selling digital products in the next 30 days, just like that. So we can see that when people go to this, it's going to give them a countdown to when the training will actually begin. So we can click into this, we can go down and we can change the image that is in here. We can see they have a button that says, welcome, click below to join the live training. So that is right there. And then what we want to do is we just want to go down and we can edit all of these things. Just go through, play around with these, see what you want to edit. But the main thing that we need is during event, we can see the video right here. This is where we are going to upload the webinar video. So during event, we just click into video actions, upload a new file, and then we can upload the webinar video, our auto webinar that we want people to see. And what will happen is this countdown timer will get to 0. It will then show them this screen where they click on enter the training room, and it's going to play the video that we add right here. Then we can see after the event, it's going to say, thank you for watching the video. Here are your next steps. They click here to claim, and then it's going to go ahead and take them to the sales page. So we'll just click on save right here. We can then go to the sales page. Once again, go ahead and edit this, add in everything that we want to add. If you already have a sales page created, then what we can do in here is we can go back to the funnel overview. Go to the sales page right here, just beneath this. We can then click on add page, choose existing landing page, and in here, you can choose the landing page that you have already created. And then all you need to do is with this sales page right here, you just go ahead and remove this and you replace this with the one you already have. Just keep in mind that we would have to go back into the webinar room right here. And then where it says click to claim, this is already going to be the next pipeline step. So that's cool. We just leave this as it is. We don't need to connect this up any further. Then the last thing that we do is, of course, once we have the sales page created, we just go down here to the offer checkout. We have our offer right here. We can go into the edit checkout area, and in here, we can just edit the checkout. Make sure that this is all good to go. Make sure this checkout area is exactly what we would like. And then once we send people here, a lot of people will, of course, buy this after they have watched the webinar. So we can now go back out. The last thing that I would do is, of course, we need to set up email marketing for this. So the best way to do this is once they have registered, they're already going to be receiving some emails right here, right? So where we actually want to catch them with emails again and start setting up email automations is right here at the bottom after the offer checkout. So what we can do is we can go into add an automation right here, and we need to make sure that we have the email sequences set up already. And then in here, we can say when the offer is purchased. Then what we are going to do is we are either going to add a tag to them and say that the tag is purchased, or we can subscribe them to a different email sequence. So in here, we already have the leads at the top. They're already added to our main email sequence. But then what we might want to do is go down here and add an automation where we can say if the offer is purchased, we're either going to tag these people or we're going to send them to a completely different email sequence. And then we can send them different emails depending on whether they purchased the offer or whether they didn't purchase the offer. So that is how you can create an evergreen webinar on Kajabi. Now, if you watch the video all the way through and you're still watching at this point when probably 90% of people have already clicked off, I want to give you an even more special bonus for watching this video all the way through. I created a super simple guide on how to make your first $1,000 with digital products, and I want to give this to you for completely free. So the second link down in the description will be the link to my super simple guide. Go ahead and sign up for that because this is absolutely awesome, and this will show you everything that you need to know to make your first $1,000 with digital products. With that being said, I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.